Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining Jeff and I this afternoon. We're going to get into a company that we've owned for a couple years now that has done substantially, I think, very well. Aecon Group. So they've got all kinds of projects on the go. They've increased it substantially going forward. They've made a lot of different shifts in the way of business, and let's talk about that.
Yeah, in the next 5 years, Ontario will be consuming 25% more electricity than it does today. But the grid cannot handle it. And so we're going to have to build out more power infrastructure to satisfy this growing demand. And it's coming from electrification, artificial intelligence, manufacturing. And
Hmm.
Aecon will be playing a central role in building that very infrastructure, as they have for many, many years.
Right. So they've in the past have always followed or had contracts that were fixed cost contracts that they overran on multiple projects, and then they were out some money from that. So it sounds like they've changed their ways in the last little while, and they're now moving forward into cost plus projects, right? So the projects that are coming forward, they're moving more into nuclear power plants, things like that, um, using the fixed or not the fixed, but the cost plus contracts. How do you think that's going to benefit them?
Well, it'll give a lot more clarity and certainty to their margins. And so it's a good thing. When we first purchased the stock, it was July of what year was that? 2023. The stock had dropped about 20% in the 3 months leading up to our purchase. The reason it had fallen so much was because they had four projects they were working on that experienced substantial cost overrun. The
Hmm.
reason for the cost overrun was because they were receiving fixed price. So when they signed the deal, they knew exactly how much money they were going to be paid. Um, and as you say, they're now moving away from that. They're moving to cost plus. So you get reimbursed for your costs, plus you get a margin on top of that. And they didn't have that for these four
Hmm.
projects. The four problems were Coastal GasLink in British Columbia, the
Hmm.
Eglinton and Finch LRTs in Toronto, and lastly, the Gordie Howe Bridge, which is right behind you in Windsor.
Right.
Since then, Coastal GasLink is finished, and those other three projects, the two LRTs and the bridge, are supposed to be substantially finished by the end of this year. So these were
Hmm.
huge distractions for the market. The stock price dropped to $10.55 when we bought it in 2 years ago, and now it's risen to just over $20. So, including
Hmm.
the dividend, our clients have made about 110% on this holding in the last 2 years.
And the
But
dividend's been about what, Jeff? 7%, 7 point something percent?
yeah, when we bought it, it was over
Steady.
7%. But because the
Hmm.
price has gone up now so much, it's half of that. But the future still looks really bright for this company. They will always,
Absolutely. Their
yeah,
backlog has risen from like 6% and change to sorry, six 6 billion to 10 billion, almost 11 billion. So
yeah,
that's
almost 11, yeah. And just to put that into perspective, backlog 11 billion. Last year, the revenue was 4.5 billion. So they've got 2.5 times revenue as a backlog. A backlog is simply they've been hired to do work which they haven't completed yet. So lots of projects will be undertaken by this company. It's just a matter of executing them efficiently and making sure they get done on schedule. But there's certainly
right,
not a shortage of demand, that's for sure. The company
right.
itself too is many people are buying the stock who work there. There was a insider purchase I saw just this morning by one of the directors, bought over $100,000 in stock, and you can if you're an insider of a company, you can sell for many reasons. Estate planning, you need money for something, but you only buy for one reason, and that's because you think your stock is going up.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, that's certainly a plus.
yeah. So, we're continuing to hold this one for clients, and for new clients, I think it's still safe to add because of this, as you said, the backlog, and they're
Hmm.
moving towards cost plus projects and away from fixed price. So there will be more margin stability and predictability, and we won't have to experience this cost overrun that we saw with those four projects I mentioned.
Right. Yeah. So it all sounds good.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right. Thanks,
Talk to you
honey.
later. Bye.